I did not cry when my mother passed away many years ago in the hospital. I was too saddened to cry then, and in my sadness there existed a terrible anger of the heart that disallowed it to speak. I recall just 3 vivid details of that day near my mother's deathbed. The cut of light that spilled through the hospital windows. The old, withered, rough sensation of her hands against my own. And the dreadful sound of my mother's dying heart. The light, I remember, fell through the windows in the shape of golden rectangles that reminded me of folding swan wings. Her hands, as well, felt like the craggy and gnarled tree trunk of the large oak tree near our farm. The sound of the EKG heart monitor, in general, was like the high-pitched screech of a microwave. "Are you crying, Laura?" my mother asked. Her voice was dry and raspy as a scorched summer morning. The cancer in her throat was horrible. "Lara?" "No," I whispered. I bit down on my tongue and swallowed back tears. "I'm not crying, Ma." The sound of my mother's heart monitor was the sound of a microwave. It was the sound of hot, buttery, fresh, popping popcorn. It was the sound of popcorn on Saturday evenings with my family as we watched movies together in the living room. It was the sound of my father tickling me from the side whenever I least expected it, of my mother hugging me tightly against her chest whenever she noticed I was about to fall asleep. It was the sound of me giggling for no reason, of me laughing out loud at the movies we watched, of me falling in love with my parents all over again, a childish joy, an unrestrained sound. "Lara?" The cancer. It was the sound of cancer. "Yeah?" "I love you." "I love you too," I whispered. I wiped my eyes. "I love you so much, Mom." The sound of my mother's heart monitor was the sound of a microwave. It was the sound of warm oatmeal in the mornings, of hot tomato soup on the cold afternoons, and of mac and cheese on days that were dull and long. I remember how confident my mother moved in the kitchen, how dexterous her hands were for preparing meals, and I remember as a child how much I wanted to grow up to be just like her. She made me bacon with eggs each morning before I went to school. The bacon was delicious, the eggs wonderful. "Lara." Her voice was dry and raspy as a throat scorched with cancer. The summer morning when I watched her die was horrible. "Are you listening?" "Yes," I answered. "I'm listening, Mom." "Take good care of your father. Be good to him and be strong for me." I closed my eyes and leaned against my mother's hands. "I will," I whispered. I remember 3 things on the day when my mother died. I remember the light against the hospital walls. I remember the rough sensation of her hands. And I remember the sound of the EKG monitor announcing her death. But I remember one more thing that has never escaped my memory, a detail that I will forever hold in my heart and give to my own daughter on the day that I die. I remember my mother's love. I remember her voice. I remember her saying, "I love you."